Hi, everyone, and welcome back. It's Tracie with the Gather community, and I'm here with the amazing and lovely Erika Gimbel. Eric and I have been connected for, gosh, it's been like 5 years now, or something like that. It's ridiculously a long time. It's so great.
It was love at first bite.
On a Halloween cruise, we had such a great time. And Erica's been in our community really as long as it's existed, because there's some sort of like mutual appreciation and camaraderie that just comes out whenever we get a chance to be together. And I love her passion for sharing the way that people can become healthier and more well in their lives and in their minds and in their hearts and in their worlds, right? Everything that she does is all about helping people get better in their head, in their heart, in their relationships, in their community, in their body, on the planet, all of the things. Everything's a very holistic. Hey, that's why you're called the holistic therapist. But you started calling it something else new recently.
Holistic therapy with a W, W-H-O.
Right. I thought I remembered something else. Anyway, so Erika Gimbel, amazing holistic therapy, fabulous queen. Welcome to your spotlight. And, put the spotlight on you. The thing that I was thinking about before we started was that the way that you show up in the various ways that you work in the world, it's always about helping people to improve their situation, whether they're going through a tough time and you're trying to help them find the tools or the resources to improve their personal situation, or be more active, or eat better, and you and your live apple pies, and all of these great ways that you show up like 100% congruent at all times with the things that you preach to the rest of us, right? The things that you convey to the rest of us. So you're
giving me a hot flash, Tracie. Thank you.
sorry, you're very like it's inspiring, because it takes a lot for a lot of people to be that congruent, and that's just how you are.
I appreciate you saying that, because so many people say, oh, you do so many things. And I'm like, no, it's
They're
congruent.
all related.
It's
Like
congruent. It's congruent.
yeah.
That's a nice word. So thank you. I will take that.
Take the word.
Take it.
Because, and I think
Congruency.
I think it's an absolute definition of what you are, because in all of the ways that I know that you do things, they all align up ultimately with, you and your spirit and how you show up in the world. So for the Gather community, let's talk about, like, what does that look like? We're talking about showing up for people in order to heal them. So when you call yourself a healer, a holistic healer, and holistic is a word without the W. Holistic is a word that shows up a lot out there in the world, but holistic with the W is uniquely yours. And I think it's uniquely yours. I don't know. Did you get it from somewhere? I have no idea.
Well, okay, so I could tell a little quick.
Tell us a story.
I'm going to tell you a story. So, way back, I went to university in Vermont, University of Vermont, and there was this, like, where there's the French house, the Spanish house. I was in the holistic approaches to wellness house program. It was a program, and it was a living and learning program. And I did it not 1 year, but 2 years as a RA, as a resident assistant, which was fun. And then that second year, I did a homeopathic medicine internship, which was phenomenal. And then my senior year in college, the last couple of weeks of college, my college career, I got mono. And instead of taking, some kind of antibiotic, I went to the homeopathic MD, and he prescribed the homeopathic version of mercury. And it was so interesting, because there's a whole story behind that material, that plant. But I mean, in 3 days, I was back. And I was actually, I was an MC for this baccalaureate celebration, and my parents were like, you should be in bed. And I'm like, No,
And
I'm
you're like,
fine.
I'm
I'm good.
fine.
I'm good. I slept for 3 days and I was good. I took the remedy. It's not a medicine. And
Yeah.
it really worked for my system. And I come from a lineage of, very allopathic medicine. My people, my family, my extended family, like there's lots of medical doctors. And so this was like, and so that's my whole kind of story, is like doing things alternatively and still having healing and health
Yeah.
and vitality. And not everything has to be with the medication.
Right. You don't always have to go get the thing from, well, it could be a
Yeah.
different kind of doctor, right? Also.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I love what the medical lineage, the allopathic medical lineage has provided us. Like, they figured out what to do with my body at birth where there's issues going on. And so those structural things, I was helped by what they did do.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's fascinating how we've come a long way from that, so
Yeah.
my dad actually would say, "What do you do when you get a fever blister?" And he would ask me and my mom what to do. And we would say, "Oh yeah, we'd get lysine. You get the mineral lysine and to help,
Mhm.
so there's so many ways to have healing. And one of them is with how we treat ourselves in our head,
Yeah.
and then all the other tools of therapy and that I play with. But that's like one of my origin stories of how I
Yeah.
holistic approaches to wellness.
That's a great story. And like, as soon as you said the last 2 weeks of college, I'm like, oh no, mono, you're done. Like,
Yeah, with like some
not.
people have mono for like months.
I
Mine was like
know.
3 days, and I was like, I was good to go. And the day that I found out I had mono, I went to this African dance class in Vermont. Vermont, of all places, had a very strong African dance community and
Yeah.
class. And I found out later that day that I had mono, and I was in this class and I was just delirious. And it was later that day I was like, "Oh, you tested positive for mono."
You're like, no wonder I
Oh,
felt a little
I
lightheaded
was,
in
oh my God. But
class.
after that, I was hooked. I became really, I've, so it's a wonderful healing art form for
Yeah.
anybody's body.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, and let's talk about that. A lot of times when I am with you and we're at events together and you're asked to kind of share the things that you do, you get up out of your chair and start telling everyone to start shake their booty or doing different things, right? So talk about how you include, physical activity and somatic action to the things that you want people to recognize about themselves and how they can help themselves feel better.
Okay. So somatics is a great word. I attended the California Institute of Integral Studies and I did the somatic psychotherapy program back in 2004 to 2006. And I came from a massage therapy background from New York. So like somatics is my friend. It just means cells of the body.
Mhm.
So this idea of, you could be a talking head and you can think your way through issues and concerns,
Right.
but body doesn't lie. And let's bring the body into the equation. So, when somebody has a certain posture or armoring or, these chronic things that show up again and again, like jaw tension,
Yeah.
um, you know, how do we go with it
Yeah.
and listen to what is it saying.
That's what I was gonna, that's the words that came to my mind. Like, what lesson is there to be learned in the problem that's showing up in you physically, right? So that you
Yeah.
can, I was just doing this the other day with something different, but the phrase, what lesson is there to be learned from this experience, is repeating for me right now. The idea of and that could be something that happens out in the world, but also could be something, like you said, a repeated stress in the body. Like for me, I get these funky sinus headaches. I get really tight in the neck and everything. And a lot of that is from not taking care of myself and being all in my head and not in my body. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, where, because what are we going to do going forward? Like, are you just going to let it keep happening? Or are you going to learn a lesson so that you can actually maybe experience that less, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So listening and bringing curiosity about those very things.
Yeah.
And having a sense of, like Dora the Explorer, like what's possible here? What
Mhm.
if we, put our thumbs into some of those areas and just let our actual own fingers get into some of those adhesions? Or what
Yeah.
if we, made sure to get some blackstrap molasses in before bed, and that has a lot of wonderful minerals. You can make a little, tea with it, or water, or whatever, or calm has the magnesium stearate, it's like helps with some of those things. So it's like,
I have
what?
molasses. I
Yeah,
don't know
blackstrap
about that
molasses.
one.
Yeah, add it to your oatmeal, or add it to a little water and drink it, a couple hours before bed, and see if that, helps your body get.
Oh, nice. Thanks for
Yeah,
that. I haven't heard that one.
yeah. There's so
Okay.
many. There's other things like
And
that.
there's a million things. It's
Oh
okay.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
like witchy things you can do, like making infusions, and I mean, so many good things to play with that are very low cost, and very
Yeah.
easy to do, and you can feel kind of like you're giving back those nutrients to yourself that are
Yeah.
needed.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's talk about nutrients. Another thing that you do is you help people get more plants in their body. And I
Yes.
mentioned earlier your live apple
Powerful plant
pie.
powders and
Well, the
live.
plant powders, but I love talking about the live apple pie too, because I think people
Yeah.
are like, what do you mean live?
Live. I was back on the East Coast for an 80th celebration of my friend Wilfred, and then I went to a family celebration for Rosh Hashanah, and I was like, yes, I have to make this live apple pie. And I made everybody say live apple pie. They're like, why is it live? And everybody's like, what? So,
Yeah.
it's raw, vegan, gluten-free apples, dates, nuts.
Yeah.
And then, you add in this and that. And I love sharing the recipe with anybody who would like it. And it is fun to have variations of that kind of crust and the
Yeah.
filling and the topping. And it's super easy. And, uh, gets people thinking, oh, you don't have to eat that cheesecake. Or my mom, she makes this cheesecake, and what's in cheesecake? It's so disgusting.
Cheese.
It's like cream cheese and
Yep. Lots of cream cheese and
you
powdered sugar, right? And sugar. Yeah. I
crap.
don't even
So
know.
anyway, I don't choose to do that, and I don't feel as it doesn't help my body when I
Yeah,
do
it
things
doesn't
that
feel
have a lot
good
of
sometimes. Yeah.
dairy.
And
So
some
anyway,
people, and honestly, that is part of the whole listening to your body thing. Because a lot of people don't recognize, I mean, I'm one of them, you don't recognize when you eat something that really is not good for your body. How does it actually make it feel? And if you're in your head the whole time, you're not going to notice that honestly, your body doesn't feel so good because of, and as I've gotten older, I will get, if I overdo the sugar, I will get a sugar hangover. And I finally have realized that's what it is when that happens. And most of
yeah,
the time I will stop myself right before I'm like, I'm starting to overdo it here. I need to pull myself back, or I'm going to end up feeling like total crap the next day because of the sugar hangover that I know is coming as a result of this action.
yeah. I make fun of the idea that it's like, sugar is like my crack cocaine. It's just so intense for my system when
Mm.
I eat something with it in there. You don't just eat sugar, but it is, for people who have that growing up having sweet teas and
Yep.
sweet,
Yep.
and it's something to do harm reduction off of, just
Yeah.
like any other drug or any other habit that's like a habit that's become an addiction. You
Yep.
know,
Totally agree.
coffee is like the most celebrated normal addiction,
Yep.
but 3 to 6, I was just talking with somebody about that. 3 to 6 cups is a lot of coffee
It is a
for your
lot. It is a
system.
lot.
It's hard on the adrenal. So what if
Yep.
you have harm
Yeah.
reduction?
Pull it back. Pull it
Yeah,
back. Harm reduction. Yeah.
harm
And that
reduction.
sounds very like important, harm reduction. And I know that that's a word that's used in really serious situations, but you know what? If you're having 8 cups of coffee a day, that's a pretty serious situation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I deal with this very serious. I have a lot of people I work with as a therapist that are going through sobriety, harm reduction, different aspects, either full sobriety, harm reduction, these lifestyle shifts,
Yeah.
and you know, they've
Stepping from
been,
like their rock bottom, try to take a step up, try to take a step up, or
yeah,
reduce so that they can get better.
yeah. And I
Mhm.
find that a lot of this is like when there's more mindfulness, then there is a way to breathe life into what's the missing thing here.
Ooh, yeah.
What's the missing thing? Like a spiritual uh
Wake up.
missing experience, or spiritual, you know, some kind of opening that could
Yeah.
occur,
Yeah.
insight. um yeah, like people who are overeating, like that's a very interesting one to play with. So I know we are like, we
We're
could
good. We've got a couple more
a few
minutes,
minutes.
but yes, I mean, the idea of being able to help people recognize and be open to
Yeah,
a path that it doesn't have to be big. It just is a little reduction, right? A
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
change, little change, a little change.
Yeah, like what if you're gonna eat emotionally? Let's just call it what it is. What about emotionally eating with love and mindfulness about it? So, and
Right.
choosing healthier things. If you're going to do that overeating after 6 or 7 at night, like do it with love,
Yeah.
compassion, mindfulness, and your body will say, "Oh, thank you." And you won't feel that awfulness that happens when you're
Yeah.
over.
Because a lot of it, it's unconscious. The choice that's made is more of an unconscious choice. It's out of
Yeah.
habit, it's whatever it is. And, if it's like I'm doing it because I'm telling myself I'm hungry, whether you're hungry or not, what if the things that you decided, in advance, I'm gonna, have apples on hand to be to
Yes.
have one of
Yes.
those
Decrease
instead
the
of,
coffee,
whatever.
decrease that overload of coffee to an apple.
Yeah.
My neighbors are just pulling up into their driveway, so sorry
Oh,
about
it's
that.
fine. It's just a little light, no big deal. We
Just a
can't hear
little,
anything.
you can hear. Okay, good. Another thing I wanted to share is like, is the idea that people can come move with me and dance with me. I have
Oh,
different
yes.
programs. Like it's like a gift to everybody to come and move with me at the midday dance break. We have on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, noon my time, Pacific time, our time. And then
Right.
if you're in another part of the country, there's 3 p.m. Eastern time. And it's a way to shake it out, move it out, stretch it out with other people who are coming to do the same thing. Some
Yep.
are have different abilities and things going on with their body. So you could keep your camera off or on, whatever you like. But it's very like, everybody, welcome.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of people in our world spend a lot of time in their chairs. So I would imagine this got started for you because you knew you needed to get up and move around in the
Yeah.
middle of the day after heavy morning or whatever, right?
Yep. My friend Herb, he has Parkinson's, and he was like,
Yes.
I need to
We talk
dance more
about him
in my
often.
life. Yes, I need to dance more in my life. And I was like, okay, well, let's have this Zoom thing. And then he even has a dance space in the back of his home. So he hosts at his home on Tuesdays and Thursdays with the Zoom link. So we're like, we got the dance space, we got my Zoom thing,
Awesome.
and it's a way for us all to
Yeah,
do
that's
take
great.
it out, move it out. And you don't have to be an expert. It could just be like, and let
Yeah.
it go from there to the rest of your body.
Well, and it's one more opportunity to remember that you have a body, right? That
Right.
we're not just up here spiraling in the head all the time. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here in my chair right now and I am acutely aware right now of my hip flexors being super tight and sore because I've been sitting in this chair for too long. So we're going to close. We're
Okay.
going to make sure that in this video, everyone has the link to join your dance party, to
Yes.
find
My
out
link
more
tree.
about different things that you have going on.
Yes.
We
Thank
didn't
you.
get to the plant powder thing, but that's out there as well. And
This is
just,
a great time to learn about it. If anybody's interested, like this is such a great time to learn about it. We're celebrating 30 years of that. But
yeah.
Tracie, I'm so excited to be part of this community, and thank you for letting me be on your spotlight, or be on my spotlight. Thank you for the leader that you are.
Oh,
And
thank you.
this whole thing got created because I saw in you being a beautiful way for us all to come together and literally gather. So
Yep.
amen
Here
to
we
you.
are. All right. I love you, my friend. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. I take that in, and we will see everyone else real soon. Thanks
Yes, I
everyone
feel
for
that.
watching.
Thank you, everybody.